What's up, this is your boy Be True, and welcome back to my 1.5 PS4 tutorial. We're making our way back to Traverse Town 2 here. These Gummi missions are really long. It's the most boring part of the run. So, Traverse Town 2 in Japanese tends to be a lot longer, or is a lot longer, just because you have to do more because of the clip route you cut out movement. So, what I'm going to be showing you is the clip route first, and then the non-clip route second. The difference is, in the non-clip route, you actually have to, like, kill enemies. In the clip route, as you'll see here, we're just going to start off dodge rolling straight to the accessory shop and talking to Sid. Now, Sid is going to give us an old book, which is the thing that we needed to get initiate more conversation with Merlin earlier. The reason we didn't do all of this part in the first visit was because you can't get the old book yet, and you need the old book in order for him to send you over to Fairy Godmother. Now, just to explain, there's no really such thing as practicing movement, but just make a conscious effort to try to cut the corners when you're making turns as crisply as possible. So we're gonna sell. We're gonna sell both high potions, the AP up. I had a Protera chain, but you want to sell everything but those two items, Elixir and White Fang. And then we're gonna straight go to Gummi Ship and warp out. Normal drive back in, and dock in the Magician Study. In order to get to the max, like sell all 4 AP ups at once, you hit left on the D-pad. Just to note. So we're going to talk to Merlin. He's going to send us over to Fairy Godmother, and she's going to give us Simba. Now, alternatively, in the non-clip route, you actually will dock in the accessory shop, and you're gonna leave. Go to the first district. We're gonna go, I hold like down right there, come around, and we're gonna go back to the alleyway, or to the alleyway for the first time, I guess, the same way we would have in the other route. You can actually go through the hotel and then come out on the balcony and jump down without spawning enemies, but it is slightly slower. So in an optimal sense, you're going to dodge roll all the way back here. As soon as you get to the wall, you're going to turn around and lock on. So as you saw, that the yellow opera was out of my blizzard range, so I just locked on, or I just did fire because it goes further. After you get your blue menu, you're going to use the red trinity and come through, and we're going to do the same thing we did earlier with talking to Leon and all that. But yeah, if you want to go through the hotel, instead of jumping down to the alleyway, just go into the hotel door, go all the way down to the red room, go into the red room, leave out the other door in the red room to get onto the balcony, and then jump across to the furthest balcony to the right, and then jump down to the red trinity. It is slightly slower, but it is same speed or faster than a bad yellow opera fight. And after talking to Leon twice, you always have to make sure to talk to him twice. We're gonna make our way back over to Merlin's house, or over to Merlin's house, I guess, not back. I'm getting the routes confused. This is faster in PS4 because of Gummi warping, which is when you warp out of a world and warp back into a world. That was not a thing on PS3 or PS2 for that matter. So I showed it in the Traverse Town 1 video, but jumping off this ledge coming up and shooting the door with fire before you land is called swag fire. And it's actually kind of difficult, so as a beginner I'd recommend just landing, getting to the door, and using a fire. It's not that big of a deal. So jump across these, Keyblade swing if you need to. You'll see that I dodge rolled across that last rock. I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you know for a fact you're going to do it. The rocks go in a different direction every time. Like, they're random. So I just know that if the second to last rock is going to the right, and I see the one in front of me shift to the right, I dodge roll. If it goes the opposite direction, jump. Don't try to save the little bit of time, because it's not worth it. But those kind of movement tech, I guess, those type of movement things are stuff you have to look for when you're getting to the point of trying to optimize the game, which is why I think it's a hard to optimize game, just because there's so many little things like that. Now, at this point, the routes are synced back up. That's a lie. Don't listen to me. I'm a liar. We have to... I'm getting the routes mixed up in my head, to be honest. So, actually, what we're doing is after this part, much like earlier in the first visit in clip route, we're going to leave. And then we're going to warp back in, and then go to the accessory shop, which is the second option. Then we're going to go to get a sit here, and we're going to sell our stuff all over again. Then go through this text scene. Now, something to note, in Traverse Town 2, there are multiple different ways to do movement, like the correct way. Like, going through the hotel or attacking yellow operas they're both pretty much same speed. Or, jumping across rocks or dodge rolling across rocks. And they're just very small. And it's just stuff you have to think about when you get good enough. But when you're first starting out, it's something that you probably shouldn't bother with and actually work on fights. Anyway, after the menu, we're going to Gummi warp back out, go to the third option, which is Magician's Study. Then we can go up and talk to Merlin. And now, as of talking to Merlin, the routes are synced back up until Traverse Town 4. But the routes in Traverse Town 2 themselves is synced back up. So after Fairy Godmother gives us Simba, we're going to leave and make our way to the rest of the world. Same difference with these rocks. You can jump down or dodge roll down and then just jump across. And this last rock, I would recommend just dodge rolling over, because that one's consistent. So after this Riku cutscene, we're going to hold straight left, dodge roll 3 times, and then unlock the door to the first district. Then we're going to make our way up these stairs and go to the small house. I choose not to change my camera there, but you can change your camera if you want. Camera movement is all preference. So during this text scene, after we finish this one and it gives us the Maleficent cutscene, it's going to tell us to go ring the bell in the second district, because there's a boss, like opposite armor, which is a redo of guard armor, but it's slower to do it now, so we wait till way later to do it until we have to seal Traverse Town. So leave the house, make your way over to the first district. The reason we unlocked the door earlier is just because of enemies. And now Sid is magically somehow in the first district. So we're gonna go and see him. He's chilling up here. You'll see that I keyblade swing when I get to the top of the ledge. That's to just get up there, and I try to do it as close to him as possible to save a little bit of time. Anyway, fire a G, and then hit R1 2 times and buy haste G, and then just leave through the accessory shop. And then before we move on, we're going to go into the Gummi garage again and put on what we just bought. We're gonna put on the fire G. Oh, excuse me. And then we're gonna put on haste G. Now the way that I have the Gummi ship set up is, I believe, the most optimal way, besides not putting on a gun at all. Warp to Wonderland, actually. It's kind of a weird little thing, but we're gonna warp to Wonderland before we normal drive to this warp hole. because it puts us closer to it and it saves time. So I will see you back in the next video for Agrabah.